Hello and welcome to episode 1 of MADCAST. We are finally back. You're here with me, Liam. We've also got Bezz.
Hello.
We've also got Jack.
Hello.
We are picking back up. We are the original crew, or part of it, from XboxMAD, which launched in 2013 with the website. Yep. Obviously, big props to Jez Corden, who was my partner back then. It helped me realise the dream of making the website. Obviously, he's gone on to bigger and better things now. He works for Windows Central. So I just want to say thanks to him for letting me pick up the Twitter again and start doing things.
Cheers.
Obviously, with Jack, you used to be our community manager.
Yep. So I used to, sort of like run all the interactions with all the community. Also used to basically bit of a jack of all trades, really. Used to do the content creation as well, along with Vils and like others as well, like sort of Dean. We also used to go to the events, so we went to EGX and we went to sort of Square Enix and stuff like that. Yeah, basically just dipped my toes in everything. It was it was great. So
Bez, what did you do? I can't remember what you did.
Well, not much. I was mostly a writer to start off with, but I did go towards helping you guys out with some video edits when you interviewed people at the events. Some people that was creating content for the XboxMAD YouTube. I was editing the intro into the footage and more things like that. So
I remember EGX, and Bez was probably absolutely cursing us because I quite literally took my desktop PC and I carried it with me to London through the tube with a massive, just holding this massive desktop PC. And then finally at the end of the night, while me and David Hook, who at the time also attended the event with me, and then we ended up sending it all to Bez like at some stupid hours at night, and him just like working around just trying to kind of actually make it look decent enough, because we were, well, we still are complete amateurs, but it was an absolute blast. So yeah,
I can remember seeing you the day after, because I came down the day after and
I was dead.
Yeah, you look like you've been taking something.
You actually said to me, Jack, are you okay? Do we need to call someone?
Yeah, you did look pretty rough. Obviously, now we're trying to pick up sort of like where we left off with the original crew. We've got the website that's sort of in design on the back burner. People have been following us on the Twitter account. You could probably tell that we were at some point going to announce that we're going to be doing something. Obviously, going forward, we'll be doing a lot more with the YouTube account as well, which we've had a little bit of a mess around with. But obviously, Bez, you'll be busy on that with me. And then you're picking up your Twitch career.
Yeah, so my Twitch career, if you can call that. Yeah, I've started streaming under Jack's Playing Games. I've recently hit affiliate as well, which is a nice little first milestone, thanks to the support of everyone who's actually been around for the beginning of this, and everyone who's been on Twitter as well, and like sharing, retweeting it. So I appreciate that. I'm just looking forward just doing a lot more of it, really. It's been so much fun. A lot of betrayal already and lots of highs and lows, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah, we're just going to say thanks to Fancy as well, who's doing a lot of the work behind the scenes. Obviously, Amy, she's been dropping in on practically every Twitch stream that we've done so far, and Vils as well. There's also Bez's cousin George, who played with us last week, but he's not allowed to play anymore because he's too good.
I taught him everything I know.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
He's actually all right, George. You can't have told him everything that you knew. So
yeah. Oh, burn.
But so going forward, we are trying to pick up where we left off, and obviously we are enthusiastic Xbox fans. That's not to say that we're going to get involved in all the console war kind of bullshit that goes on social media. But we tried to stay away from that as much as possible the last time that the core crew was involved with XboxMAD. Because at the end of the day, like whichever platform you choose to play on, obviously we're all friends that have played on Xbox for years and years, so we're used to the ecosystem on Xbox. But PlayStation and Nintendo, PC, you've all got something in common with. We all just enjoy playing video games, so I just don't get the whole, we have to justify why we play on Xbox compared to somebody who's trying to justify them playing on PlayStation. It gets a bit ridiculous. And I didn't pick up on a console war really until I joined Twitter. And I think that's where social media, I mean, it's great for a lot of things, but I think some things it's not so good for. So, obviously one of our key philosophies is going forward that we won't be getting involved in any of that kind of stuff. So
No. I think the message that we really want to send is that if you enjoy video games, you're welcome here. It's really going to be, it's just going to be a case of just celebrating what you love rather than putting down what you don't. So,
and I think from our point of view as well, we need to temper expectations, because obviously in the end what Jez managed to achieve, where it eventually turned into ICXM, was they were churning out news and media content like hourly, like almost, with the big guys like IGN and stuff like that. They were really on it. They had a lot of writers. So just to temper expectations a little bit, this is more the core group of friends who are picking it back up. We're just going to be obviously doing things like reviews, a lot of opinion-based stuff. There will be bits of news and that when we've got time, but we've all got our own families, we've got our own jobs, so we can't allow it to completely take over his lives. But what we do get to do, we do want to share with you guys. So that's why we decided to pick up the XboxMAD brand, if you'd like to call it that.
yeah. No, I think it's great. And I think times have changed as well since we first started in 2013 on the original website. Like back then, forums were a much bigger thing. Now everyone's on Discord, which we have, by the way. So, come join us on Discord and chat games. As well as exactly. As well as that, people, they do visit websites, but as well, a lot of people consume their content either on YouTube or, like, say for instance, Twitch, or dare I even say Facebook gaming. Like, there's so many different outlets now, and I think we kind of moving with the times as well. Realize that we can enjoy the games a lot more while playing them and recording them for you by doing that.
Like a job.
Yeah, exactly. We want to play the games as well just as much. We don't want to be spending our whole days writing about them. We want to get in there and play them as well. We want to and give you our honest experience of that at the time. And I think it's a lot more genuine coming from a video where you can see our genuine reaction. You can see, our frustrations with the game, or how much we're having fun with it as well.
Yeah. I was just going to say as a disclaimer for when Bezz does actually start talking, if you are listening to this on YouTube, if you're struggling to understand anything that he says, if you just put it down in the comments below, we'll try and translate it for you. Because he's got quite a strong Scouse accent, so we don't listen to him.
I just wanted to say that I think it's nice that we've all come back to gaming like we did back when XboxMAD was a thing, because of this. Because we've all been locked inside for quite a long time, and because of that, we've all turned our Xbox, dusted Xboxes back off, and we're all playing again. And it's been a lot of fun jumping on streams and talking like we used to. I think it's been great.
If anything,
about the whole lockdown.
Sure, you probably agree, Bez, but if one positive thing you can take away from this pandemic as well is that it's actually brought us all back together again in a much more
100%.
Yeah, down to we've learned to appreciate the simpler things. Family and friends. It's not to get too soppy here, but that's that's it.
You're trying to tell us that you love us, Jack. That's what you're trying to do.
I do love you, man, and I love you, Bez, as well.
Awfully soon. It's a bit quick.
I haven't bought me dinner yet. What's happening? So anyway,
next week.
But yeah, to be fair, like, we're looking for something to do again. I mean, we've always jumped in every now and again when we've seen each other online, but not to the extent of what we've been doing over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. I certainly I've got a young family, so when my 2 children came along, that's one of the reasons I had to kind of drop out on a high intensity side of things. What XboxMAD became, especially when it turned into ICXM, was it was almost like another job, and I didn't want to let anybody down in that respect, because they were all pushing things forward and if anything, I felt more like I was holding it back. And obviously now where Jez and some of the other guys, I mean, some of the other writers like Cade, Onda, and whatnot, they've all gone on to actually working games journalism. So
Matt Brown as well.
you know, I mean, yeah, Matt Brown. That's what one of the things that makes me feel really happy about what we did in the past is that these guys have gone on to go and do things like that professionally. Whereas obviously now we're tempering expectations in that we're doing this for fun. We're going to try and bring as much content to people as we possibly can, and hopefully try and keep it as fun as possible. And there'll be invitations for other guys to come and join us, especially on streaming and YouTube videos. And that's the whole ethos of the original XboxMAD was the community side of things. It's been great. Just another shout out for obviously Daz and the guys over at XBM Network.
Yeah.
They were a big part of the original XboxMAD team, and obviously their Twitter account went on. It's done really well. It's been great just catching up with Daz, because I had a quite long phone call with him before I decided, maybe we can bring XboxMAD back, just to give him an idea of what we're going to be trying to do in the future. Again, they've always been great supporters of us, and they're always retweeting us, and so it's a big thank you to them as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Cheers to all of them. Like straight away, they've been nothing but supportive. So they didn't have to be either,
No.
But they've welcomed us with open arms. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So really, for the pilot episode, we've done a little bit of a chit chat on what we're planning to do. Obviously, I have pre-ordered a Series X, unless Amazon let me down, which they did last time, for the Xbox One X. I do hate this naming, by the way. I'm going to get confused with it too much, like Series X, Series S, Xbox One X. I'm going to keep slipping up on that, but they did let me down for the launch of the Scorpio edition. I didn't get it till almost a week later, even though they said they were going to get it to me on launch date. So I know we've just gone into the second lockdown, so whether I still get it on launch day is to be seen, but I'm hoping that logistics are already out on that. I know you've got it, Jack, and you've got it pre-ordered at Game. Are you going for midnight launch?
There isn't. Yeah, I was going to be going for the midnight launch because I pre-ordered in-store. I actually waited outside to put my name down for one and put down like a physical deposit. But they've, since they've announced lockdown this week, they've now come up with a plan of pre-purchasing the Xbox, so you pay for it before, so there's nothing to be paid on the day. You pre-purchase up to Wednesday before closing, and then you can then pick it up on the day of launch from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and this will be across all game stores, because I follow quite a few of them and they've all had the same message. So if you're looking to pick up your console, try and get it paid at the beginning of this week as soon as you can, so then that way you can then go collect it, like basically like a click and collect on launch day.
Bezz, you're waiting until Christmas, are you?
Yeah, I sort of the end of last year, my day one Xbox decided to die on me after a 5-week. I was working away for 5 weeks and I came home to a fried power brick. So I had to buy myself an Xbox One S, and I knew that the new Xbox was about 9 months away. But I thought, well, I don't really want to wait for that. So I got the Xbox One S. So I think I'm gonna hold off till Christmas, and I'm just gonna have to be jealous until then, unfortunately.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say is with this generation, like we all know there isn't like a massive launch lineup on either side really. But one thing you can take away from it is that you're not going to be left behind in these following months just because you're not on the newest console. It's going to be great having the quicker load times and stuff like that. But we're still going to be playing on the same ecosystem, joining party chats. We're going to be playing the same games. It's just a case of them little improvements.
Which is a huge thing. I think that's fantastic, and I don't understand how certain people are looking at it as a negative, because it kind of does look like they're not taking that big of a step because, well, the other consoles can do it as well, but it is making improvements in different areas that is a next gen step, in my opinion.
Yeah, how amazing is it? Like, you can join in a party with someone who's got a console that's 7 years old, and yes, they're going to be playing the game at maybe lower fidelity and frame rates, but they're still going to be enjoying the game. It's just that you're going to also be
it's
enjoying
fantastic. I think it's great.
on your own. So, you know, everyone's there, no man left behind, you know?
Well, I think that's what they wanted, isn't it? It's the Xbox family.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much said it anyway, but Xbox is no longer it's not just a console, it's more like an ecosystem. So obviously it runs across PC, across the entire like range of consoles from down to the Xbox One now.
Even streaming on xCloud as well. We tried that. That's bloody brilliant.
Well, I've got a Apple phone, so I can't do it yet. So
well, sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. But, I mean, they're looking at a way around that with the sounds of it by some kind of app that you can download rather than go through Apple themselves.
Yeah, you can stream from your console, but it's not quite the same. So, you know, if you're close enough to your console to stream from your home, then you probably just want to be on your actual TV yourself.
Yeah.
But
I think going back to launch titles as well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the launch of the Xbox One wasn't particularly mind-blowing for me anyway. Like, I can remember picking mine up at midnight launch, and then I had quite a few issues with the installation of games, which I think were well documented, that it were trying to install a patch as well as the game. So it was taking hours and hours. So I ended up falling asleep, even though I'd gone to get it on midnight launch to play Forza. I think towards the end of a generation, developers get so good at making games on that current hardware that there isn't the massive leap in graphics as what you'd expect from moving from one generation to another. So I can remember obviously playing Forza and COD Ghosts and thinking, I've just been playing Xbox 360 version of Grand Theft Auto 5, which graphically, arguably, was a better looking game than, you know, COD Ghosts.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't until I played Rise, really, I thought, wow, this is, you know, a step up. And I know Rise gets a ton of, well, it gets a bit of hate because obviously the quick time.
People weren't used to that, were they?
Yeah. It weren't the most challenging game. It were pretty challenging in multiplayer, to be fair. I did really enjoy it as well, and I wish they'd have made a second one. I'm not really sure what happened to the developer there, whether they're still going or not.
They got dropped.
Yeah, so going to this new generation as well, because we've had a mid-gen refresh with the Xbox One X. Even if you've been playing on the S, like that's been upscaling in 4K. Because I bought an S and then I bought an X because I've got a 4K television. I think because we've been playing in like even upscale 4K for so long, the new games aren't going to be immediately mind-blowing, I don't think. I mean, I've seen some recent stuff on the Watch Dogs ray tracing that I thought, wow, that is impressive. Graphics-wise, towards the end of this generation, compared to what it's going to look like on the new generation, I don't think there's going to be a massive gap in it. I think really, looking at any launches that are due like Q1, even into Q2 of next year, because of the global pandemic issue that everybody's suffering with at the minute, I wouldn't take any launch dates to be 100% certain. So, like, I mean, it got ridiculous the other day where, like, Cyberpunk devs are getting death threats on Twitter and stuff because they've delayed the game. It's like, come on, is that really that important to you that you're actually threatening another person's life
it's
because
just not
they haven't
acceptable.
released the game? No, it's just ridiculous.
You wouldn't say that to someone in face to face, would you? So why say it over a keyboard? But I think
exactly.
Yeah.
So new games going into my new Xbox Series X. Obviously, I've got Watch Dogs, so I'm not 100% if the patch for that is available day one because they were on about patching it in at a later date. I've also got Assassin's Creed pre-ordered, so I'll be picking that up as well. Yeah. But I think that's about it for this year.
For me personally, it's going to be again Assassin's Creed. Who doesn't want to be a Viking? I think that's the draw of it this year. Like, everyone has been kind of consuming Viking content really, like, over the past few years. I think it's kind of like reached a peak of where it's almost like a ultimate fantasy to go in and take over England and, you know, just absolutely wreck.
Are you okay, Jack?
Wreck everything. Yeah, I'm okay.
He went into
I
a
think-
fantasy land in his head then, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking like you're going around, being like an Assassin's Creed version of Ragnar Lothbrok or something,
Yeah. I mean,
He
a
wouldn't
great
want
series.
that.
my backlog of games is horrendous. So I'm
Oh.
still pushing my way through the last couple of installments of Assassin's Creed. I've still got the Origins and the
Origins and
It
Odyssey.
was
Odyssey. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the name I was looking for. I've still got both of them to play. So I don't know whether is it story based where I need to play the other two before I play.
No, I think
Oh,
they're
right.
all their own chapters, really, aren't they?
Yeah. So I might just
I
leave
think
it.
there's always little Easter eggs from each of the games. Like
Yeah.
I've been playing through the Ezio collection, and I got into one of the vaults, and it was like a statue of one of the Egyptian gods, and that's one of the characters in the Origins Assassin's Creed, which
Oh
was
yeah.
cool that they'd mentioned that the Assassin's Creed that's going to come later for a game that came out ages ago. It was like a little prequel Easter egg. I thought that was quite cool.
That is actually, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Because didn't the Ezio collection, you say it came out before as well?
The Ezio collection was the best one, in my opinion. And I find it crazy that from then, they must have had a roadmap of where they were going to go with it. Way longer than we ever thought that they did, because they came out every year at the time, and we just thought they'd pick a destination and then go for it. But they've clearly had it planned out from those first games, because it wasn't just the Ezio collection. The Ezio collection is only the remaster of it.
Yeah.
I think with Assassin's
Which
Creed,
I found so
that genre game, especially its setting of going back through. See with the new ones, obviously, I don't know if you go through the memories of current person. Do you know, like the original story of the first Assassin's Creed that I remember, like Desmond and whatnot. I remember the name of the machine. Like you used to have to climb into it and you'd regress memory wise, and that's what you'd actually play as the memories of an assassin, the animals. That's it. But I'm not sure if that's the case now, because I know some people were saying that the new inceptions of it, like from Origins, was more. It seems more like an RPG rather than a linear. It was kind of a mix, wasn't it, of very linear open world game, Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. I didn't really play a massive amount of 3, and I think that's universally regarded as probably the worst game out of the 3. I did play a fair bit of Black Flag, which I enjoyed. Again, they can take you to anywhere at any point in history, which is one of the great pulls of that game. Like basically, they've done
No other IP
the
can do
Chronicles
that, really.
as well, haven't they? No, they did it with Chronicles as well, didn't they? They did the Russia, China
Yeah.
Chronicle games. Again, I've got a massive backlog of games that I really need to catch up on. But
Mine's absolutely disgusting.
yeah,
my pile of shame is offensive. If you had to put one game on the list that you should have played, what would it be?
Witcher 3.
Oh my god, you didn't play Witcher 3?
No, I have started it, but my son was born, and then everything went pretty much tits up from that point on in. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that the birth of my son ruined my life. I'm just saying, I didn't get the game in
You
time.
said it, not us.
Hopefully your wife doesn't listen back to this.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, like, a game like that, I knew that I had to invest the time in it to really appreciate it. And like, we're a newborn child, and then obviously my daughter, she's like 3-4 years older than him. So when he was born, she was 3. So I didn't really ever have a time where I could just sit and really get involved in a game like Witcher 3. So I did start it, and I enjoyed what I played of it. But because I didn't really want to get too involved in it and then, never have time to play it properly, I didn't do it.
That being said, Liam, this next generation might be it for you, because obviously, as well as Cyberpunk, they've also announced that they're going to be upgrading Witcher 3. So they're gonna be bringing along a Series X patch for The Witcher.
Yeah.
So this might be the generation, and just take it through. I'd probably recommend take it through on the easy setting, just so you can actually enjoy the story.
You're trying to say I'm a noob.
Not at all, but you don't want to be worrying about sort of dying and having to re-go through certain bits. You
I
just
think,
want to actually,
I'm going to catch a ton of hate, like if anybody does actually listen to this, in the comments they'll be like, do you even Xbox, bro? Like, I haven't played one of the, I mean, it is regarded as one of the best games of the generation, certainly by, people that I know have said that it's the best game that they played this generation. I know Hooksan's a massive fan of it, and Jez as well. He talks about it quite often when I see him on Twitter and whatnot. But yeah, Witcher 3, and obviously now because the Games Pass, sometimes I sit there scratching my head of what I'm actually going to start, because I've got that many games even installed on my hard drive. It's like, where do I start with all this? And then obviously, Watch Dogs has just been released this week, so I've picked that up and started playing that straight away. And what I've played of it, I've really enjoyed.
So,
wow. Okay. So that's
so
Liam.
Pondy, yours is Witcher 3.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack? What would you say is your should have played game?
Well, this may be a little bit of a cop out, but I'll probably say anything released up to around 2 years after Elder Scrolls Online, because that for me was just a complete blank in my space and time. anything that came out a couple of years after that, barring like Witcher, yeah, it just never got a look in. I got enveloped into the world of Elder Scrolls. I lived it and breathed it. It was an amazing time. I met some amazing people on there as well. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. Like, I felt so bad at the time as well. Didn't particularly give it the best score because it had a bit of a rocky launch on Xbox. But the game, half a year in, was just completely different. It was amazing, and it just kept me going back. There was nothing
quite
else.
a grindy gameplay, though, aren't you? You like them where you have to invest in a character.
Yeah, I like to see a bit of development. I like to start from, being a mediocre, just almost like NPC level character, to becoming something that you can go through and essentially take down the devil. That's what I'm there for.
What about yours, Bez?
Before lockdown, I would have said Red Dead Redemption 2, as I recently finished it because we were all locked down, and I thought I was always sitting down trying to play it, and I just kept getting distracted and never getting anywhere. But during lockdown, I sat down and I actually finished the story. Pretty much did everything that I could, all the side quests as much as possible. So I completed that, and to be honest, I would say The Witcher 3 as well, because I still need to finish that.
Oh, God.
But the one game that I haven't done is Doom. I picked up Doom Eternal, and I've been really enjoying it. But I never actually finished the first Doom, so I think I might have to jump back and finish the first Doom, even if it's not as
first Doom
as Doom Eternal.
Not the first Doom.
Doom. first Doom.
No,
like,
no.
Way back when, in my era, you youngins won't know what it is, but
back in day.
In day, yeah.
In there. The Doom before Doom Eternal, I think, would have to be my game. As I always kind of like the look of it. It looked quite fun. I like that kind of music, but I could never sit down and do it. So there's a couple there for me, but I did finish Red Dead 2, and I can't copy off Liam's answer of Witcher 3. So
yeah. So
there we go.
It's copied me and Jack copped out. There we go.
I copped out. Right.
So we are now going back to a new lockdown anyway. What have you been watching something through the last lockdown, or just playing games?
Yes, I have been watching The Boys on Amazon.
I've done it as well. We won't get away any spoilers, by the way, if anybody's listening.
I've only watched. There'll be no spoilers.
I've watched season 1. I still need to watch season 2. I ain't had time to sit down on season 2 yet. So that'd have been my pick as well. Certainly from a Netflix point of view.
Well, that's a bit awkward because that's on Amazon.
No, Netflix, yeah, that's what I meant.
we'll
I'm not affiliated
with
either side, so it don't really matter. What have you been watching, Jack? Probably Vikings, by the sound of it.
I did catch up on that a little bit.
Yeah, sat in his little horn helmet in his house.
Yeah, just there, just with like the horn, just shouting at Sarah, going, "Skull!"
That, Jack. You can't say you were sat with the horn because that sounds wrong.
No. Right, cut that.
Jesus, Jack.
I ain't been sat with no horn.
Sat with your horn.
Oh my god. Right, that being said, getting back on track, I have actually, well, fairly one thing apart from Xbox as well is that I love is actually learning how to cook loads of different recipes. So I've been watching the Taco Chronicles. Like, oh my god. Right, if you want to go somewhere and like experience culture, these places where they serve all these different tacos and stuff, like they talk about it as if like they're alive, and like you're watching it and you're just like, oh damn, I've got to try and cook some of that.
What's it on? Amazon?
Netflix, yeah.
Oh, Netflix. Oh, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, Taco Chronicles. It's amazing.
See, I'm pretty boring with stuff. Like, I don't overly. I mean, El Chapo were another one that I've watched recently. I don't know if you guys have watched that. It's subtitled, but it's based on.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the jug runner, El Chapo. That was brilliant. But I find myself at night, if I do sit down and watch telly, I'm really nostalgic about TV shows. I end up watching stuff that I've watched hundreds and hundreds of times. So because on Netflix at the minute, there's obviously Only Fools and Horses and Red Dwarf. Well, I've probably watched
just
those
go for the V
all the way
ones.
through.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching cookery shows and stuff. I mean, I love watching cookery shows. My wife can't stand them, so you know, I've always constantly battling with her of what we're going to watch on TV, especially when it comes to films, because I'm more into like action and suspense, thrillers kind of stuff. She's more into she's like opposite ends of the spectrum. She'll watch chick flicks, which I can't stand, and then horror films, which I'm a massive wuss watching. I don't do well with horror films at all. She loves them. Like, completely scared the shit out of me was Insidious. I can't stand that film.
I can't deal with that. I just no.
So yeah, I'm not a big horror fan. With games, I'm a bit better, but again, I don't really sit playing horror games on my own either. I'm a bit of a wuss like that. So
I had to build myself up to play Friday the 13th.
Oh, no, I'm not that
bad. I am. And then when it comes to it, and then I get betrayed by my own friends and they're like knocking the doors on me.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that,
you shot me
clip,
with a shotgun.
Yeah, you did shoot Bezz. If people who are listening to this haven't seen that, go to I think it's on my. It's been shared by
you posted a tweet that's linked to that's linked to my Twitch channel. So yeah, it's a good little laugh. Apart from that as well, this month, I don't know if you want to pop back to a little segment of Xbox, the Games with Gold this month. If you're kind of looking for stuff to play while you've either been furloughed for a bit longer or you're actually just at home, got a bit more time. Looking at this month, from November the 1st to the 30th, you have Aragami Shadow Edition. Also, from November the 1st to the 15th, you have Full Spectrum Warrior. And both from the November the 16th, there is also available Swim Sanity. And then probably my favourite out of all of them, which I'm definitely making sure that I'm revisiting, is Lego Indiana Jones. May not sound like it's exactly my demographic, but I love them games. And Indiana Jones itself, it was actually just so funny. They just like hit all the right marks of the movies. So
the Lego games quite clever in how they like they work a lot on the humour side of things.
They're quite witty.
I certainly enjoy it with my kids. Like now, are getting to a point where they can sit on Xbox and play co-op.
Yeah.
So they've been playing. Got a few Lego games.
Perfect for that.
Lord of the Rings one, I think they've been playing through on the 360. Because I've still got my Xbox 360. I don't know how long it's going to last because it keeps turning itself off at the minute. So I think it's definitely on its last legs. But going back to the games with gold, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I can remember Full Spectrum Warrior, and I remember it being pretty difficult. The original Xbox.
Yeah.
And Lego Indiana Jones, I think I've played through as well. The other two, I'm not so sure on.
Yeah, I haven't played them before. Aragami Shadow Edition's meant to be like a dark journey. It's meant to, it's essentially including both the original game and its prequel, Nightfall, and you're meant to play as like an undead assassin with like powers that you basically like control the shadows as such. there's meant to be like a solo campaign, or you can like team up with friends like cross-platform online. So that's always good fun. If you've got other mates on other platforms, it's worth a little look.
I remember finishing Lego Indiana Jones with my sister years ago on the 360. I am looking forward to the new Star Wars Lego that's coming out. Is it the Skywalker collection?
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but yeah.
I haven't picked any up for ages. Like I said, especially like with Games of Gold, it's easy to forget about Games of Gold, I think, because the game's passed now. I automatically go just check what the new titles are on Games Pass to make sure that the ones that are dropping out the next month aren't something that I feel like
that
you have to play before the drop out there. Because I know like during lockdown I was playing a lot more with some of the guys I used to play with, Plant and whatnot, and we were playing games that I've never played. I wouldn't even get time of day to, which is the great thing about Games Pass is there's an opportunity there for you to try games that you wouldn't normally buy. So
yeah,
I played a lot of DayZ, which at first I hated it because it's really difficult. When you first start off on it, it's quite grind to actually get to a point where you start enjoying it. But once you're on it with your friends and you sort of learn basics of staying alive on it, and it turns into something that you can really get your teeth into. And there's really steep learning curve on it. Obviously, it's PvP as well, which most of the time I try and steer away from in a big open world game. I mean, obviously, we used to have a lot of playing Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. But if I'm playing PvP, it's normally just on like Call of Duty or something like that. I think that is the great thing about games of golf and whatnot is that you'll pick something up and you'll just give it a go.
Yeah, definitely. There's none of that like, oh, do I buy it? Do I not? Because I want to sink X amount of money into it? You've already got the subscription, so it's just a case of like, let's just give it a go.
I mean, going forward as well, like if you look at the acquisitions with Microsoft and what they've got planned, like all them games to go in Games with Gold, Games Pass. That's going to be a massive pull for a lot of gamers just to either pick it up on an Xbox console or even if they've got a PC to pick up Games Pass, because any new inception of the Elder Scrolls or Wolfenstein from Bethesda and anything that obviously Obsidian are doing, which is like Avowed, are going to go straight into Games Pass. So there's a hell of a lot of value in that compared to hoping that the game's good and then spending 60 quid on it. Yeah. And then it not turning out as well as you thought it had. Because I mean, I'll be honest, like Fallout 4 didn't quite hit the mark with me, for a full value, 50 quid or whatever I spent on it. And if I'd have bought Fallout 76 at full price, I'd have been really disappointed. So I think that is like a massive advantage for Xbox at the moment is the Games Pass.
Did either of you, or what did you guys think of the Call of Duty Cold War beta?
See, I didn't get much chance to play it. I think I managed to get maybe an hour in total. But I feel like you're leading me on here, Bez. Because I think you know what I'm going to say and how if I was going to review it, what I would say about it. I'll take the bait, right? So, in the game, it looks, very, very Call of Duty. Like it looks, like all the others, it takes a little while to kind of get used to the color scheme because they always seem to be messing around with that. But it's the guns themselves. Like you actually feel them when you're shooting. Like I picked up, it was an assault rifle, and I can't believe I'm gonna do this. And you shoot the assault rifle, and it's like literally like, dup, 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 dup. But you shoot, and then you actually feel it. Like, as you're shooting, the controller's vibrating exactly how you'd expect, and it actually makes you feel like you're firing it, rather than it kind of being, offset or just feeling like a blank vibration, which sometimes games are a bit like that. Or you're shooting like the pistols as well, and they're like a lot slower pace, and you actually feel it. So like I think they've really captured something there. I hope that kind of transfers across to the full game. I really do, because a big part of it is actually feeling immersed, and having that, I don't know what they've done, but it made you feel immersed. So,
well, I'll be honest, I wasn't trying to bait you out there, but thank you for the sound effects.
You're welcome.
Wait till we get him doing his impressions, because they are for it.
No way.
Yeah, no, overall...
Another time. Tune in next time for that.
I played a couple of evenings on the beta, and I did enjoy it more than I normally enjoy the betas. I remember playing the original Titanfall beta and loving it a lot, and then the game coming out, and it was a bit
Well,
shallow.
the beta was the
But
full title.
I know that, yeah, this Call of Duty, I kind of got similar vibes where I was actually really enjoying the beta multiplayer, all the maps. The maps feel super different, and the guns feel great, like you said, Jack. They sound great
Yeah.
too. And I can't wait to play it. And I'm wondering what the difference is going to be between playing it on the current system and the next system, because there's obviously the different prices you can pay. You can pay for this one, and then you can pay, I think it's $10 more or £10 more, and get the version for both of the games, where it will
Oh,
just
it's not,
automatically cross over.
isn't this one of them? What's it called? The Xbox version, where you buy it at the Xbox One version, and then it automatically.
Yeah, I think the games had the
Oh,
choice whether they wanted to automatically do it,
Right.
or if people had to buy a different version. So I think Call of Duty, it's not, you don't have to pay for the full game twice. You have to pay. You can pay for the normal edition, or you can pay for the edition that will cross over to both.
All right. See, I'm a bit sure with COD because, like, I've really enjoyed the last two, like the Call of Duty World at War. Enjoyed, and then obviously Modern Warfare, going back to its roots with Infinity Ward, which I really enjoyed as well.
Well,
But with the Sledgehammer ones, is it Sledgehammer that's doing the next one?
I'll just quickly double checking that actually, because I've not been
Anyway,
keeping up with all of them.
Black Ops. The first Black Ops was one of my favorite Call of Duty games ever. Like, it was brilliant. Then
Yeah,
when they started
was
going
good.
into that, futuristic weaponry kind of shit, like especially you got in Black Ops 3, and then
Yeah.
Black Ops 4. I really weren't a fan of it. Like, it's like when they tried to revamp COD and they made Advanced Warfare, and you started with all the jumpy suit kind of shit. I just
Yeah.
couldn't stand that.
I've got a little answer for you, by the way. So the developers, maybe interested to know, there's actually Treyarch along with Sledgehammer Games, but they've also got Raven Software, High Moon Studios, and Beanox also contributing as well. So it's a group effort.
So obviously they churn these out once a year in general. I do generally prefer the Infinity Ward stuff, apart from Advanced Warfare or Advanced Warfare, whatever it were called, because they just try to take it. Warfire, yeah. Anyway,
it's how original the
I'm
names
not old,
are.
I promise.
No, like the original Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, even I enjoyed, and then after that, I wasn't a fan of much going forward until they've released World at War. World War 2. World at War were great as well, by the way.
Yeah,
which
that was one. That was the Treyarch one. That was brilliant.
I mean, the single player was absolutely solid.
Probably my favorite.
The single player was solid. Like
sniper level on the single player was incredible.
Yeah,
because I've played through all of them on veteran, and I can remember
humble brag. Weird flex, but okay.
Strange flex.
Yeah, but you know, like the end level of World at War, geez, honestly, like just spawning grenades at you constantly. It took me at least 4 or 5 hours just to do the last level on it because it was solid. But I can even remember like Call of Duty 2 being difficult. Do you know? They've all got their own kind of.
Like for me, it's COD 4. That Mile High Club at the end, just trying to get the best time on veteran. You literally just had to remember the patterns. Yeah.
That took ages as well. But I kind of think that's where you get a value in games where they're difficult enough for you to keep going back and trying to do it. Do you know? Rather than something being too guided and too easy, and ultimately, it's a bit too easy where you don't enjoy it as much as what it would have been if they just put the difficulty up a bit higher. And that's what a lot of first-person shooters, when they put like a veteran mode I won't even try Wolfenstein on Is It Insane or whatever it is, because I found that on just normal. It'd be quite difficult. I don't know if either of you guys have played through the new Wolfensteins.
That's one of them backlog titles.
But I said both of them. I tried to play the second one, but it keeps overheating my Xbox One X for some bizarre reason. So I'll have to wait for the Series X to play the Wolfenstein 2.
It's very strange.
I used to really enjoy the Wolfenstein games, and I picked them up when they were in the sales, and I think I'm halfway through the first one. And I do enjoy them, but they are difficult. They're very hard. So I agree with you there, but I do need it's another one of them where I kind of need to go back and finish it.
Yeah, I've got too many games that I'm a bit
Pile of Shame's massive.
yeah, I'm a bit OCD like with my gaming because I have like the 10 games that I keep on pins on my home screen, and I try not to divert away from them until we've at least finished, one or two of them before I start picking up a new game.
God.
Yeah, it's nerdy, but
I can't deal with that.
like I can't be doing with. I found it recently playing COD. Like, if you play one first-person shooter and then you get into another one, and the controls are slightly different, and you've got
Yeah.
to try and put yourself out in that one, and then go back to COD again. It's just, that's why I prefer to play one game, get through it, and then start a new one.
Each
It's a
their
bit
own.
OCD.
There we go.
It's their own. Thanks for listening, guys. That's our pilot episode of You Had Me at Halo. That is our new podcast going forward on XboxMAD. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, please do so at XboxMAD on YouTube, and also hit the little notification bell icon for when we're uploading any more content. If you're also wanting to check out Jack's Playing Games and Bez's Twitch stream, we've also got links to those in the description below, and also the official XboxMAD Twitch channel, which is XboxMAD_gaming, and we'll see you more in the future.
Bye.
See ya.